This week's episode is brought to you by NYXI Gaming and the Flexi controller. What sets the NYXI Flexi apart is the ability to change the left stick and D-pad around, so the sticks are either symmetrical or asymmetrical, so you can swap the controls to your preferred Xbox or PlayStation layout. You can connect the Flexi to PC, Mac, Nintendo Switch, Android and iOS, and it comes complete with Hall effect sticks and triggers, as well as mechanical micro switch ABXY keys and RGB. Latency is non-existent in both wired connection and via the included 2.4 GHz dongle for wireless connection, as NYXI have done a great job with the 1000 Hz polling rate, meaning your inputs are lightning fast in game. Check out our full review over at podcastversusplayer.com to find out more, and use promo code PvP to get 10% off at NYXIGame.com. Now, back to the podcast. Hello, welcome to Podcast vs. Player, episode 306. I'm one of your hosts, Cal, and as always, I'm joined by a man who was sad because he didn't know the lyrics to YMCA. I said, young man, there's no need to feel down. Dirty bloody Dan.
Bonjour.
Ka-chow. Lightning McQueen himself. How are you? Don't even think about it.
No, sure. Okay, yeah, good. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. We're a day late with a very good reason, and I think probably be the same next week, maybe.
Why?
Daredevil.
Oh, yeah. So Disney have released 2 episodes of Daredevil this week, which I was not expecting. But then we also had Nintendo Direct today.
Yes.
So that means that we had a couple of things to talk about. But as to specific news or anything you want to go through in particular or in a specific order, I will leave that very much to you.
Well, we'll kick off with Nintendo because I made a little list, Dan. Because although it's always fun to see a little Nintendo Direct, it was mostly garbage.
Yes, I was going to go with Nintendo. Don't you mean Nintendo don't?
Don't. Nah. The old Sega slogan from the 90s.
Good lord. Yeah, I was like, oh, Pokemon. Okay, yeah, knew about that. Oh, Metroid. That's pretty cool. Okay, what else have we got? Oh, that's it.
Yeah, you got your
that's
lives and stuff.
That's incredibly reductive. Obviously, there's a lot more than nothing. But in terms of what I would be particularly interested in, it's all like anime kind of Japanesey stuff. Which, you know, there's a big audience for it on the Switch, but I ain't a part of it.
It's
so
not
I'll be honest,
us.
Callum, there was nothing in that for me. I'll be honest with you, mate.
I've made a couple of. You mentioned 2 of the big ones. Obviously, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, which looks great.
Yep.
I'll definitely
Which
be picking
does.
it up. Pokemon Legends ZA, we got to see a little bit more of it, but we still don't actually have a release date for either of those 2. It's both just 2025. So,
Well, the Switch 2 is due in June, isn't it?
well, we've got the. When is the? We've got a couple of weeks, no, less than a week, until we get to see the actual unveiling on the Switch 2. And that's going to show us some software as well, which I assume will include Metroid and Pokemon in that as well. And then
But this should have been launch titles, man. This should have been, you know, it's coming out this year. Here's some absolute bangers that you're going to get for it, but you won't be able to get those on the Switch. It'll only be Switch 2. You've got to go and buy it, basically.
Yeah. I don't think you could have a stronger launch lineup than Mario Kart, Metroid Prime 4, and Pokemon Legends ZA. On any console, that's better than any console.
You need to go to the classics.
That's
So
a
there'd
really
need to
strong
be,
launch lineup.
Like you say, there'd need to be a new Mario Kart,
man.
because that's been one for ages. There need to be probably a new Smash Bros, because that is, 6 years old, 7 years old at this point?
I mean, yeah. But I mean, we only tend to get one Smash Bros anyway. So you'll have obviously the N64 one, the GameCube one, the Wii one, Wii U, Switch.
Yeah.
So we're due another one by far.
Yeah, but this could have just been here's just all the cracking stuff and all these rumours that have been floating around about like all these things that are going to now be on Switch 2, all these things that could be on Switch 2. Here's the power of it. This is your whole moment to go through all of it, and they just went, no, here's some new games, but not really new in the sense of that there's no, it's not going to appeal to the mainstream. Maybe in the West, maybe in Japan, this is a far more convincing lineup. But yeah, not super bothered about. And it's not to say that any of them look bad. I'm just you're talking to the wrong person with it, unfortunately. And I know that Nintendo Direct wasn't exactly aimed at me, but no, like Tears of the Kingdom DLC or anything like that. No extra packs for fucking Mario Kart. Then milk that until it's dead.
I mean, to be fair, I'm surprised they've done anything with this being so close to the Switch 2 announcement. It's realistically, with the number of titles there was, not necessarily the quality, but the number of titles, there's at least another year left in the Switch 1, which is good for Switch owners. But one of the more interesting things, which again, pointless now, but the Nintendo Switch virtual game card, so you can lend digital games to friends and family. But I think there's like a 2-week cap on it. I don't know whether you could give it back and then rent it out again or what. I don't know. But why now?
I don't know. The concept is very interesting, and I assume that this will just carry over. It'll just be a part of Nintendo Online, so it'll be for Switch and Switch 2.
Yeah.
So and I think as well, it's probably helping combat some of those ridiculous RRP pricing points for some of these games as well. It's 60 quid for a game. Yeah. You go, fuck me, I don't know if I want to spend that. Well, borrow it off your mate for a couple of weeks.
Thing is,
does that mean that they can't access it, or you can access it as well, but it's your own profile basically?
I assume you can still access it.
So it's not as if I give it to you,
bad.
And then I can't just play it.
Yeah, that
and then you complete it and spoil it for me.
Shot in the foot. But
yeah,
if there is if you can't, we'll go on the assumption that you've only got 2 weeks and you can't borrow it again after that. That's a really good...
Otherwise you'd rinse it.
You just borrow it until you finish it and then you just give it back. But this would be a really good way. Like, there's loads of Switch games where I've gone, you should give this a go, and then you've looked and you've gone, that's 70 quid, fuck off.
Yeah.
And at least then you could try it, play it for 2 weeks and go, I'm going to buy this.
Yeah.
Or, nah, it's still not for me. But at least you've had because demos and stuff I know it's old, and they're the kind of stuff we had.
There's still a lot of demos on the Nintendo
but
Online,
not for anything decent, though. Like, there's a handful of good stuff, but the rest...
Like Kirby had a demo, Tropical Freeze, the Donkey Kong Country remake.
Yes.
That's got a demo.
Oh, did they have a demo? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I played it, and it's fucking hard, mate. So I was like, this is why I don't buy these. There's Princess Peach Showtime. There's a bunch of them. There's not like Mario Kart demo, Smash Bros demo. There's not, like you say, there's no Pokemon demos or anything like that, which would be...
There was Pokken Tournament. I remember that had a demo, which was like the Tekken, but it's Pokemon characters.
No, isn't that Unite you're thinking of?
No. Pokemon Unite's free to play. That's the MOBA.
Oh, yeah.
Pokken Tournament it's literally a handful of Pokemon, and you fight each other, but you actually control everything. It's a good fighting game. It's all right.
Yeah. But yeah, there's Mario Soccer, like that's got a demo.
Yeah.
I mean, these are just the ones I know about, but I do actively look at sort of because I'd go, well, Mario Wonder, that looks pretty good. Oh, it's only available for purchase, or I'm going to go and buy it. I don't know. Am I going to get time?
And it's only single player. Fucking don't call it Brotherhood.
No, not Brotherhood. Wonder.
Oh, Wonder. Yeah, Wonder's quite good.
But either way,
either
way, it seems to be the sort of like your B teams, not your A team that you get your demos for, which is again it's a bit odd. But this system of just you can borrow it for a bit, I get it, and that's actually quite clever. But why is there still no? Here's every Nintendo game. You can just play them all now. I will not stop beating that drum, Callum, until they just say this 10,000 game library or whatever we've got that are all like all together is about 3 gig.
There was
we've made them all. You can play them all now. Off you go.
A pattern last week for a new controller, and the schematics match the Wavebird controller for the GameCube. So the odds are the next edition to Nintendo Online is going to be GameCube titles, but you could also spend £70 on a new controller.
Yeah. So there'll be Rogue Squadron and Bounty Hunter and that kind of stuff, maybe, if they can get licensed properties.
I can't imagine it'll be difficult for a lot of the game. Maybe some of the games that have got like certain soundtracks and stuff. Like soundtracks seem to be a big issue with a lot of.
Well, what about like
games.
Shenmue? Because like Shenmue's,
that was on the Dreamcast.
I thought that was on the GameCube. Was it not? No.
No, GameCube and then Xbox, like original Xbox.
Shenmue 2 was, yeah. Did they make 3? Did that actually come out? I know it was like a crowdfunded thing.
I think it was meant to be on PS4, wasn't it?
Don't know.
Have we completely forgot all about it?
Probably. I think everyone has. After they've spent like 300 quid kickstarting it. I'm pretty sure that there's like a Shenmue 1 and 2. It's on Game Pass. I'm pretty sure there is. Like
maybe,
a purchasable.
Potentially.
I'll double check for us right now.
So
I
1 and 2 were
sure
definitely both on original Xbox back in the day. Because I remember umming and ahhing whether to get them in like a Game Station or somewhere. And I was like, I still actually own the Dreamcast version, so it seems a real waste of money.
Oh, Callum, Atomfall came out today.
Today?
Why am I even talking to you?
Wow, this is going to be a quick podcast.
There's been a bunch added. I mean, I saw yesterday, but there's 33 Immortals. It's actually quite good, but not really my kind of cup of tea. I did play that for a bit. Mythwrecked.
Don't want to.
Blizzard Arcade, which is some like original classic Blizzard games, which did look quite good, but I've got no nostalgia for it. Naraka Blade Point, which is a sort of Japanese game that again I'm broad stroking it. It's not. It's more than that. It's just I know that it's not for me. The Finals, which actually looks like it could be quite good. It looks like it's sort of like a...
That's on PC already. And it's free to play.
Yeah, it is free to play, yeah. Heroes of the Storm, Smite 2, and then Atomfall has dropped today. So
I don't give a fuck about any of the other ones. Just Atomfall.
Yeah, but... what was I looking for? I've been all distracted now.
Shenmue. Sega's last swan song before they just start making other games.
Shenmue 1 and 2, Sega Europe, there they are, yeah.
It was good games, they just haven't aged particularly well. Because bearing in mind, at the time, it was like, wow, it looks just like a movie. Are these real people? And now it's
like
you realise it's a loading screen for people walking upstairs and stuff. Like, it's outrageous. But nice little surprise, though, Dan. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. What did you think of this?
Yeah, that sort of like classic arcade beat 'em up kind of thing.
From the same people that made Shredder's Revenge.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All you need then, give us a big fucking roster of dudes and chicks to do it with.
Well, just from what was shown, we had Captain America, Nova, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Violet, Storm, and others, as it says here. So
Venom.
A reasonable amount. Venom was in there, so I'm not sure why Venom's not on this list. But I reckon there'll be a good few. Maybe not like Lego Marvel.
I'd probably get that. To be fair, though, if it's the same people as Shredder's Revenge, then it's going to be on Game Pass, so I'll get it on there for sure. The Tamagotchi thing, I didn't even know that was still a thing. I've seen like the physical units that are still sold, but this is like an Animal Crossing kind of world or something. Are you aware of this?
Oh, did you mean Tamagotchi Life?
No, that's like it was like the Miiverse or something like that. It's like the reinvention of the Miiverse. This is Tamagotchi.
I don't remember the Tamagotchi bit. I must have missed that out.
Tamagotchi something.
Well, I'm not interested anyway.
No, I just thought, virtual pet on the Switch seems a bit clunky when you can.
I like the idea of it, but
there'd be a bunch on your phone if you want to do that sort of stuff.
That seems more practical to have it on your phone or on your watch or something like that.
Yeah. The watch one is probably a good idea because it's the same with like minimal buttons. It just sort of bleeps and bloops and does a poop, and you give it a pellet.
If you don't walk, it dies.
If you don't walk, it dies.
Yeah.
Ooh, pressure.
The closest thing I've got to a Tamagotchi in the last 30 years is on Let's Go Pikachu on the Switch. I bought the special edition
giving
that
a
came
little
with
wash
the
in that
Pokeball. No.
Oh yeah.
You could transfer it to the Pokeball, so you could put a Pokemon in the Pokeball, put it in your pocket on your keys or whatever and go for a walk, and it would.
God, mate, they've got you wrapped up. Bloody hell!
And you could like the button on the front of the Pokeball. That's a thumbstick, and then you can click it to press like A.
Yeah, I know. I've seen them. I thought it was just a joystick then.
Yeah, you can click in and.
What about if you lose it then?
Fucking hell. Again, I wouldn't buy another one. But
no, I mean, wouldn't you just lose your Pokemon?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's
Imagine
quite
that.
heavy. I wouldn't. You'd know it if it
No, like
fell
just
out your pocket.
rolls out your pocket or out your bag or something on the bus. You get off, and that's just gone. And it's like, yeah, sorry, you haven't reconnected it again, so it's just gone forever.
Potentially, that might be. There must be a way of doing it, because if it breaks, you wouldn't be able to get it back. So there's got to be a way of doing it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I also don't recommend using it a great deal, because after like 3 minutes of using it, and you realise you've got to play like this, it's not comfortable at all. And I think I maybe put like Charmander or something into it once, and then it's like,
bit gimmicky, this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit daft. But yeah, I mean, other than like Metroid and Pokemon were the only things I was massively excited about. And when I say excited, I knew they were both already happening. So,
well, Metroid I didn't, but
I didn't expect it to be on this. I thought it'd be on the other one.
Yeah.
I imagine it will.
But
be.
Pokemon, again, it's not really an announcement. It's just, and I didn't watch it because I was like, I know what this is going to be like. I'm going to get it. That's all I need to know. I'm really keen about like the new battle mechanics where you've got like more control of it. Like that looks ace. I want to get involved in that. But yeah, like after like the Xbox one that was like last year, I think it was. That was great. Like there was stuff coming out of that, and I was watching that just thinking, oh wow, that looks great. Oh, what's this? I've never seen this before. There's like the stuff that I see it sort of like pop up on the coming out in 3 months sort of thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, like that. Was it the fucking it's like based in like Mississippi or Tennessee or Louisiana or something like that.
Oh, with the guy playing the guitar at the beginning.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
I can't for the life remember what it's called, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's in like the deep south. Like I genuinely can't wait for that. I'm pretty sure Atomfall was one of them as well. When I was like, ooh, that looks good.
I don't think it was last year. I think we saw Atomfall on the one prior.
Potentially before that.
We've been waiting for a while for it, but I could say this was I didn't think this was even a thing until you mentioned it yesterday, because I genuinely thought that's it for the Switch One. If we're getting this unveiling like in a week or so for the Switch 2.
That'll be your big. Maybe that's when they'll go. We'll just sort of do this because it's already in the calendar. But when we're doing the unveiling, that's when we're like, and this is out for it, and this is out for it, and this is out for it. It's going to be big. And that's when it will get your tits blown off time. Yeah. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. Because if they just go, look at it, it's £400, go buy it.
Okay. All right.
No, thanks. I'm all right for
after
now.
The fact, I'll be like, wait a minute.
Can someone virtually share their Switch 2 with me so I can play Flight Simulator on it or whatever the fuck they're saying it can do?
My favourite announcement on today's Nintendo Direct was, because I watched Kind of Funny's live stream of it, but it had already been out. They just hadn't watched it yet. But Greg had edited the video, like the live feed that they was watching. So Final Fantasy VII Remake was on it, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And then it just comes up, and it's just Greg, the music's fading out, and Greg's singing the song, and they're like, "What?" And then it's just Greg, and he's like, "Hi Tim, yes, I'm in your car right now." I was like, "This is the best live stream ever." But obviously, that's not coming to Switch, but might be Switch 2 though if we're getting Cyberpunk and GTA 5.
Yeah, let's see about that, shall we?
I reckon it probably will. If it's the rumor being
kids,
that it's
do you
as
want to
powerful
play
as
the
PS4.
worst version of the games that came out 5 years ago?
I mean, I
Christ.
wouldn't. There's a lot of games I wouldn't play on. Like even if Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, I ain't gonna play it on the Switch anyway. And these are the ones that are. I know why they're doing Cyberpunk and GTA 5, because they're going, look, it's for adults. It's not just for kids. It's not just Mario and that. But
true, but everyone go, okay, well, Cyberpunk came out 4 years ago.
Yeah,
GTA 5 came out
next point.
11 years ago. Everyone who has already played it or wants it has already got it, and they've had to get it on either a PS4 Pro, I think Cyberpunk would have been on, or a PS5,
Their base,
or a high-end PC in order to run it properly and decently. So it's going to have to be stripped right back, and it's not going to have the same kind of impact. So I get why they're doing it, but then you
there's
basically
other games
again
you could pick.
But I'd rather they just go, we've got a new Zelda and it looks amazing and it's still all the same stuff that you like, but now it's the world is 10 times the size and it's gorgeous and you can drive a car or whatever. There's just a bunch of it's just a bunch of stuff like
Link
that.
in a Tesla. I'd prefer it if they went, rather than Cyberpunk and stuff, they went, here's another zombie. I don't know what they'd call it, but here's another Zombie U. That game was really good on the Wii U, and like mainly for the management system, where when you went in your inventory, he pulls his bag off, and then you go through it on the Wii U screen. But obviously, you could still be attacked while you're just going through your bag and stuff, and it was really clever. And as a launch title for a Nintendo console, and it wasn't, here's Mario and here's Mario Kart and here's Link and here's Pikachu and stuff, and he's like, nah, here's these zombies taking over London and you got to shoot the faces off, and if you die, you become a zombie, and then you've got to go and retrieve your stuff. It was just really cool. I'd like to see another one of them instead of Cyberpunk, but
yeah,
we'll see. Just because we mentioned GTA and stuff, I watched a video yesterday, Dan. Do you know Max Payne 3 made fuck all money?
Surprises me considering it's fucking outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, it was reviews positive across the board. Really, really, really positive reviews. It just didn't sell. They lost like $200 million or something on it.
Was there anything else that came? Was that because of the purchase of the license for it?
Couldn't tell you. I know a lot of people was unhappy because originally, I can't remember the chap's name, but he voiced Max Payne in 1 and 2, and he wrote it as well. And he wasn't involved in the third one. It was really
that's Sam
late
Lake you're thinking of.
Yeah, him.
He didn't voice him.
I thought he did.
No, he was the face.
I thought he voiced him as well. Regardless,
No, he's like Dutch or something.
he wasn't involved in it until really late into Max Payne 3's development, and then they brought him on. But a lot of people were just like, if he's not involved, then I ain't going to play it. And then,
well, to be fair, mate, look at things like Alan Wake, look at things like Control, like, what is it, Remedy? Like, they make good stuff. Like Alan Wake 2, I'm still disappointed with myself that I haven't gotten anywhere with it yet, because I'm still ploughing through a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
But when I started that, I was like, Christ alive, this is engaging. Like, actually...
Even if the first one, though, was... Back in the day, it was fucking great. It hasn't held the test of time, but back in the day,
2
it was
will
very
hold
good.
up for a fucking long time, mate.
But, and then people saw that it was in, like, Sao Paulo or wherever it is, and was like, why is it all bright and fucking sunny and stuff? And I assume that's some of the reasons why people just didn't buy it. I did.
Maybe.
I got it fucking day one.
I bought it 3 times, I think.
I've only bought it twice, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
One PS3 and PC.
Yeah, but I had it for 360. I've got it for PC. And I'm pretty sure I bought it for somebody else as well.
It's a great game, though. It's real good.
I absolutely adore it, mate. Every now and then I'll go, oh, I fancy a bit. I'll go back, and every time I go back to it, I'm just like, God, this still feels right, and it still feels good.
Well, there was
Plus,
a
I
thing
think
in it.
there's still a bunch of people modding and stuff like that for it to keep it relevant.
But there's stuff in it that I never even noticed, that I wouldn't have never ever have noticed it unless it was pointed out in this video. But the developers made it, obviously because he's old. He's a lot older and he's a lot drunker. When he is diving, if he's near something, he'll just fall into it. And I never really picked up on a lot of that stuff. I just thought it was just the physics of the engine, but it was all purposely done. I was like, that's really clever. It's very good. Speaking of big angry people who shoot people, Dan, Daredevil Born Again.
Famous for running around shooting people, Daredevil is, yeah.
I was more leaning into the Punisher aspect of it, but he wasn't in any of these episodes.
No, he wasn't, no.
But yeah, probably two of the best episodes, I'll be honest, Dan. Personally.
Yeah, kind of fantastic.
Spoilers, by the way.
Yes, Muse just... I love the fact that, like, you got the commissioner... Oh, the commissioner. The fucking Commissioner Gordon. Like, you got the police captain or whatever there. And he's just like, tell me how the sanitation department figured out that there was a serial killer before the police department. Like, how completely inept is the NYPD that they just... Everyone hates them, apparently. Everything's falling apart. Like, it's almost as if, like, after, like, New York's been blown up a couple of times with alien invasions and the Hulk and whatever, the police have just gone, fuck this. I ain't getting involved in this anymore. Everyone's just going to hate us. And, you know, we're not Avengers, so what's the point anymore?
I mean, and I get it as well. From the if that's the way the police are being, you can understand it from a... It's like on the BB... What's the news thing? The YouTube girl?
BB Report.
Yeah. That's pretty much just going, the police are wank, the vigilantes do all the work that the police should be doing and stuff. And as a policeman, you probably would just get to that point, just go, let them, fuck it.
Yeah. We've got a criminal in the mayor's office. We've got people running around, beating each other up. We've got lasers and aliens and teleports and... What are we supposed to do with a badge and a gun? Even that isn't enough anymore.
But there was a interesting... I think it was on the second of the two. Yeah, the first one was the bank.
The bank one. Job, yeah.
We'll talk also, about that first.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Did you want to? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you had something specific.
Incredible shout out to Yusuf Khan. I remember when Ms. Marvel started, I was just like, the dad in that show is the absolute standout for me.
Oh yeah,
him popping up in this. He wouldn't have been anywhere close to being on a list of people that could potentially make a little return.
It wouldn't have been up there.
So glad that he did. He was great in that. And also the fact that everyone just seems to be meeting Matt Murdock. Like it seems he is just going to end up as being a lawyer for superheroes. That's what he's going to do.
That's what She-Hulk should have been.
Inadvertently, he's just bumping into all of their friends and family.
I did love that, though, when he's on about Kamala. And he's just like, got this custom-made pop vinyl. Pop, yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, it's very good. But he's like, I 100% agree he was the best thing in Miss Marvel. But do you think we will get a Kamala?
No, I think it would be because I thought, oh my god, what if he's just gonna? Because answer me this: the bank is under attack. They cut the power, all the cameras go down, and he runs into a back office to make a phone call, and the lines are dead. Why would he not use his mobile phone to make a phone call, Callum? Tell me that.
I'm going to agree and tell you something else. So I said the exact same thing, Dan. So when is fucking why is he ringing Kamala? Get your mobile out, ring Kamala.
Yeah.
He's a superhero with superpowers. And
hey,
went,
hey, Dor. I know you're probably busy doing, Captain America, Captain Marvel stuff. However, my bank is currently being robbed by like 6 Irish guys with machine guns. Would you mind kind of getting down here and sorting this out?
But
I don't want to put on you, but very good chance it might get shot to death here.
When before we get to that scene, whether he realises the phones have been cut, one of the women who's in there has got a phone. She's like, "We've got no cell phone reception."
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah, because that was the inside job person on it.
And I was like, "Well done, Zoe."
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I didn't spot that.
Maybe this one building in New York has terrible phone signal for some reason.
Maybe that's why they chose it.
Maybe they had a jammer that they put up on the roof or something, maybe. Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. I'll tell you what isn't fair, though, is my only gripe with these last 2 episodes, and I hope that you know exactly what I'm going to say.
Gripe?
Just one thing, and I was just like, what? Matt Murdock walking away from the bank. He hears the screams. He hears the sort of guns getting cocked, and like, oh my god, oh my god. He calls his partner at the law firm and says, "Call the police," and then hangs up.
Didn't say for what.
Yeah, for what, for where, why, and then all of a sudden it's just like, here comes the entire fucking police force, the SWAT team, and everything. I was like, have you got the bat phone? What do you mean you just go call the police and they just send everyone to their location?
But that also that highlights another issue where you've got the assistant negotiator, and she's like, and the Rob's like, oh, we're on 3 APBs, but not APBs. What are the police trucks?
Like armoured truck things. Yeah.
Well, 3 of them outside. And she's like, fucking St. Patrick's Day. Like, you ain't gonna get, nothing's gonna get in or out. Well, how the fuck did you all get there?
All the streets are closed. Oh, that's actually a really good point. Yeah. You've got a fast travel route through the sewers or something to get there.
Thanks, Splinter. But I didn't think about that until you just said about the phone call thing. It was like they managed to make the phone call within minutes. They were showing up.
Yeah,
but you couldn't get anything else through because of the St. Patrick's Day celebrations. And I love that. We already know there's you got the Irish like crime families and stuff because they were in season 2 of Daredevil, and that's the odds are.
Funnily enough, which I'm actually rewatching at the moment, and it's terrific, Callum. I'd forgotten how absolutely great it is.
It's a great season, real good season.
Yeah.
But the odds are they're either remnants of that gang or they're somewhat connected. But they didn't use any kind of voice modulator thing. They're like, oh, hello there, officer. Like, I wonder who's arrested. I wonder who's trying to rob this bank.
Yeah, maybe it's all the Irish on St. Patrick's Day, yeah.
That joke was fucking great, though, Dan.
What the, oh my god, I fucked a penguin joke.
Yeah.
That's actually a solid joke. That's a solid. There's no way she just came up with that off the top of her head.
No way. Unless she's an assistant negotiator and part-time stand-up comedian.
That's what she's doing with the other
Irish jokes.
Also, she pulls a great Irish accent out of the bag as well.
It was very good. It was good. But so did Matt, though, when he's talking to the guy on the walkie-talkie.
Yeah,
it was a bit more subtle than hers was, but.
Yeah, I also love the fact that Yusuf was like, he just watched Matt just take out this guy and like just do a bunch of stuff, then crack into an uncrackable bank safe with his ears, and not go. That's. It's just that. What kind of a lawyer are you? He's like, yeah, really good one. I can crack safes and crack skulls.
But that's the thing. Like, if you saw a blind man who is blind and he's very much blind. And he's took somebody out. He may have took somebody else out on the way here. Then he cracks a safe. At what point do you think he would put 2 and 2 together? Not necessarily Daredevil, but you got to be some kind of a vigilante.
Yeah,
there's
something going on. Like, no one can just do that. And also, the first thing you'd be thinking is, you're not blind.
Yeah,
because you've just moved in a way and you've beating up someone. Like, a blind person shouldn't be able to do that. So if you'd have taken a swing at him to be like, I'll prove that he's not blind, Matt would still see that. So even though he is blind, he would still move out of the way as if he wasn't, therefore proving that he's not blind.
Unless there's like, we're going to have to take you down to the opticians and get you tested.
It's just like medical records. I need a certificate to say that you are 100% actually blind, yeah. But that's I like the idea that he's seeing that kind of stuff, though, because then, Kamala gets herself into trouble or something. He's like, oh, well, I do know a lawyer who's... Yeah. He seems like he's kind of, he's seen some shit. Yeah, maybe I'll give him a call. Maybe he's the one to go for. And, like, again, the fact that he likes him because he's like, oh, it's like, I'm not going to change the decision on the loan. He's like, no, I was just making sure you're all right. And returning the diamond. I like that he's still just trying to be a nice guy.
It was funny, though, that he's done all of that, and he's still not having a fucking loan. And I know it's not his decision.
Rules are rules.
It's just like, fucking hell, cut him some slack, man.
I thought he was taking the diamond and then was going to flog it and use that to, like, bankroll the firm, because it was like, oh, it's a criminal's diamond, but
made sense.
Clearly he's his morals are better than mine. Because I'd be like, better in my pocket than in yours, I guess. I can help more people this way.
But he could also help more people if his firm's up and running.
Yeah, that's true. There's
a lot of staff in that building.
I thought that when they just sort of like, why are they here for the bank loan? There's like 6 people out there. It's a very fancy office that you've got in New York. Why are you not operating out of someone's like second room or something in their bedroom if you can't afford it?
But this is what they had with Nelson and Murdoch though, when like Fogg is like, we've got to take in season 1, and Matt's like, I don't want to take this guy on because he's clearly a fucking criminal. Fogg is like, yeah, but we need money. We got to fucking do it.
They're gonna pay.
And in New York, especially as she doesn't seem as into the people as Foggy was, where it's like, let's do it for the good of the people. It's yeah, we'll help people, but we've got to keep the fucking lights on.
Yeah.
And it would make sense if I was Daredevil. I would have sold it. That would have kept them going for a long time. And the more clients they get, the more money they get, unless it's pro bono shit still, obviously.
But that frees you up a lot more then to go, well, this guy is probably innocent, but he's dead poor, and he can't afford to give us anything other than like his famous soup recipe or whatever. But it's fine because we don't technically need his money.
Yeah, because we're rich.
Well, to be fair though, it'd be like whoever it is that deals with all the finances and tax and stuff there. They go, where's all this money come from? Where have you just suddenly got like $1 million from? What the fuck?
I was annoyed that this was part of the trailer though, because it kind of ruined a bit of the tension. Because we already knew, because we knew Matt would take the red mask to put it on to break that when he stamps on that guy's leg.
Oh, I know. I never saw that. That
was in the first reveal trailer, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then, obviously, as soon as we saw the guys with the ski mask, it was like, oh, this is where he's going to get it from.
Right. Oh, no, yeah. If I saw that, I don't remember. I wouldn't have put that together, no. But yeah, he opened up on that guy. And then as soon as he just dropped his entire fucking weight on his knee, just broke it. I was like, oh, God, this guy. Like, he's not just sort brutal. Of punch someone in the face and, they're probably down. Like, he's really he's double tapping now. Like, he's going as hard as he can. Even
with when he's choking the guy out on the stairs and he drops a shotgun and he carries on choking him while he drops down to grab the gun. It was very smooth choreography this week. And
yeah, I agree.
Didn't like the CGI on the second one, but...
Oh, no, that still threw me a bit. I was like, ugh.
It was better than the first episode, though. Because it was brief.
I can't see much difference in either, to be honest. It was not good.
Not the quality. I just meant the fact that it was just like... And then that was
at least it's over quickly. Yeah.
Just gives us the illusion
but that thing
with
doing. Muse, though, was great.
That was a good fight.
I also really like the fact that as well that it's clearly he's not been training, he's not been keeping on top of his skills. He's not as swift and graceful as he used to be. Like, this guy couldn't turn up Iron Fist. Like, he's out of practice. He can take on a couple of punks, but that guy with the shotgun, he had him banged to rights a couple of times.
There was a couple, even with the police on the other one.
Yeah, they got a couple of hits in as well. But I suppose this is the part of it, though. He can't just be seen to be an untouchable ninja that's just sweeping people away left and right. He needs to be able to take a beating, but it feels more that he's just out of practice and he's trying to get back into the swing of it. He's sort of like, oh, I don't want to bloody get back out there and start fighting. Glad I kept all my masks, though. Because you've got
someone stopping playing guitar, like. They're not instantly going to sell the guitars and stuff.
Yeah, no. You're going to keep them just in case.
Yeah.
But then, there's him fighting Muse and starting to sort of, get back into the swing of it. And then you've got Fisk with this starved, sickly guy and throws him an axe. He's like, come on, have a crack at me. That was a good
switch around, though. Because obviously for the whole thing, it's like, he's going to murder him.
Oh, he's going to axe him to death. Yeah.
And it's like, make it fair. Yeah. I was like, wow, I like this.
No, mate, you want to make it fair, feed him 3 square a day for a couple of weeks, get his strength back, give him some protein shakes. Yeah, give him a real big gun. But yeah, man, he really fucking killed that guy real hard.
This is like we'd mentioned it on last week's podcast, where something I really, really like with Born Again is they don't do it all the time, but when they do, I think it's very clever. Where they do these parallels of Matt and Fisk. Stuff's happening at the same time, and they're basically going through the same thing. And I assume it is intentional.
Yeah, it's like that. You know, they're both becoming who they were meant to be. Like he's still going to be the kingpin. He's trying to be like, no, I'm better than that now. But you know, he will throw a guy into a brick wall, and
I don't know how he's alive though. Daniel,
he is breathing at the end of that. Yeah, like
what's Daniel?
I just got a feeling he's going to keep him. Adam. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's just going to keep him as like a punching bag, because then he can be like, I told Vanessa I didn't kill him,
and I haven't.
I haven't broken that promise. He may as fucking well be, but you know, he's just going to get really annoyed. He's going to go down there. He's going to take it out because he can't, you know, like mess that guy up in his mayor's office. But he's like, when I get down into that fucking basement, that guy's going to get it tonight. Oh bloody hell!
He fucks him up something fucking royal though.
I mean, but again, you know, he's been starving him down there for like 3 weeks. He weighs nothing. Like he looks gaunt, and he just throws him about like he's just.
You know, like there's no way he could have survived that. He couldn't survive.
Like he throws him into that brick wall so hard, like his head smashes off the back of it. Oh, I thought he was dead instantly.
That first punch.
He hit him into the roof, Callum.
it was obviously we see a few things like in season 1, he decapitates that guy with the car door. In season 1 of Daredevil. And then in Hawkeye, he seemed a bit more super, super strong in the Hawkeye TV show. And a little bit of that in Echo as well. And then this was more, I've given all that up and whatever. And then that one hit that he does at the start, like he runs at him with the axe, he just moves and twats him. He goes fucking flying.
Yeah, he really does.
And I like.
I'm pretty sure that was a backhand as well. He just sort of dodged and then just backhands him, and he just goes flying.
Yeah, but it was almost like Steve Rogers hit him. That kind of power, and I love seeing that. That's a good point. No, good point. There's something to bring up. When he's putting his suit on,
and
he's on about the suit's not fitting anymore. They made a lot of emphasis that he lost a load of weight. So I don't get why they made that emphasis on that.
I don't know, maybe unless they're saying that, you know, like he was a big sort of like, he was just a big unit of a guy, like he was just big everywhere. But now like he's been lifting, you know, trains or whatever. And, you know, now he's back and his shoulders are so big that as soon as he puts a jacket on, it'll rip the seams. Rather than like it's a big beer belly kind of thing. It's just like he's now significantly bigger, like outwards from the top down. That his wardrobe isn't just for a big heavy guy; it's for a big strong heavy guy. Or I thought they were going to use it as an in to be like, oh, now I need to go and get a new suit, and you know he's going to go and get some sweet bulletproof.
I imagine that's what he's still using, isn't he? Because all of his suits before are all lined with Kevlar and stuff.
They were, but I don't feel he'd tear it like that, just putting it on if it was.
I mean, I don't know. He punched a guy up into a ceiling.
He punched a very thin guy up into a ceiling.
Doesn't matter how thin they are. That's still impressive.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I couldn't do it with the toddler. Never mind, a fucking fully grown man.
You starve him for a couple of days, I reckon you could. Give them an axe. He's going to come back now next time and give him 2 axes. They're like, right, double your chances.
He's going to come out and just put somebody else in there and just go, there's 2. Just to come on, both of you. But it was interesting to see, because have you semi-figured out who Muse is yet? I did it from the very beginning. Well, if I'm right, anyway.
Not really. I wasn't sure if it was his aide, like the either the British guy or like his sort of his fanboy aide.
No,
he's just sort of
for them.
No, I don't. But this is the thing I'm trying to think, because it was like he was a big guy who's fighting.
I also could be wrong as well. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah. But no one in particular, unless it's Kamala's dad.
Can you imagine?
She takes that mask off and he's like, Matthew?
But in there, like, because he clearly doesn't have powers in this. Like, because depending on.
No, it's very strong, though.
There's a few different versions of it, because one of his powers is. I don't know what it's actually called, but it's similar to Taskmaster, where he can read moves and stuff. But this is more of like an absorption thing. So he
Taskmaster's like it's like a photographic, not a photographic memory. It's like
but it's basically that, though, isn't it?
Reflective memory or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember exactly what it is, but you can you see someone do something and you've got it.
It's similar to that, but it's more physical based. But he can use that. So for Daredevil in particular, he can basically make himself invisible because he knows how he works. But he's also he's a lot stronger and faster, and I don't think they're doing that at all. I think he's just a serial killer in this.
Quite an effective one. If they say like, oh yeah, it's like 60 people that he's killed. It's like, how the fuck's no one clocked this guy?
Yeah, I mean that's the only bit that threw me a bit, because we've seen him 2 or 3 times, and the first one he's already killed someone who's carried on, killed them 2 girls in the alleyway. I think there was another one before that, and obviously the guy that they found. But 60, that means that either includes those ones as well, and there was just another 56, or it's actually more than that.
Maybe. I mean, that's Frank Castle numbers, that is.
That's Frank's first pistol kind of numbers, but for a serial killer, that's a fucking lot, isn't it?
But again, unless you do that within a couple of days, people notice. Like, you have to target the homeless, you have to target people that no one is going to go looking for, you know. But just like random people that come up to him on the street, someone would have reported them missing, surely, by that point.
Yeah. What if it's Banksy?
Real Banksy.
Real life Banksy.
It's a good question, though, mate. I'm kind of enjoying the ride of not knowing, because I'm hoping it's just sort of a complete no one. No, I want to hear what you say, because like you say, you might be right, you might be wrong.
I mean,
again,
I could be wrong, so if it's right, I apologise to you, and I apologise to you. But remember the guy in episode 2, I think it was, who goes to the book signing for Matt's new love interest, and he asks her to sign his book. Him.
Why him?
Because I can't remember what he was in, but he's quite a famous up and coming actor.
So you reckon he wouldn't have just been a
no, he's not just going to be a rando person that's in it for that one thing, and he's going to be a new client of hers as well as Fist.
Oh yeah, because he was just like, oh yeah, I really need to talk to you. Yeah, no, that's actually probably quite a good shout.
I reckon it's him.
Yeah, because he's like, yeah, I could probably talk to someone. It's like, oh, well, what does he want to talk about? You know those murals that are everywhere? Yeah, I put those up. Oh, that's not so bad. Well,
I love the sanitation guy. And he's just like, we got the biggest pressure washer we got on it. That didn't move it. So we went back and we got this other thing, and it turns out it's covered in epoxy. It's just like, get to the point. He's like, tell him what you told me. Oh, it's blood. Human blood.
Yeah, it's all these different types of blood. And he's like, yeah, get me the police guy down here right now, please. How's this guy figured it out? How's his sanitation lab sorted this out, and your CSI hasn't? What the fuck?
But that was an interesting bit where Fisk seemed genuinely concerned at that moment in time. Now, I don't think he was concerned for the safety and welfare of the people of New York City. I think it was more, nobody does that. I'm the mayor of this city. No one murders people except for me.
No, I got it as more this is going to embarrass me, because then people will be like, what do you mean there's a guy who's been killing 60 people? How is that possible, Mr. Mayor? It's your fault. Like, under your watch, and the police under your watch, you haven't given them enough resources, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I reckon it would be damning for his political career. I also absolutely love that, where he's going around like all these rich contributors and stuff, and they're just like,
be the next thing.
Who are you? Like, you've been the mayor for like a week. Calm the fuck down. And I can just see his brain is just like, oh, I could rip your fucking face off right here and now.
it's the one thing that D'Onofrio does fucking well is the emotion of being ticked off, and it'll just be like a twitch, and it's like any one more person is going to say one more thing, and he's just going to fucking split them in half.
It's like, yeah, it's like Homelander, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's just sort of like, but the thing is that with Homelander, like the way that character's, we're seeing him, he's just doing it in public now, because that was always, he's always holding back because the image, the brand, whatever. Whereas now it's just sort of like he blows someone's head off and everyone's like, yeah, Homelander, woo, we probably deserved it. And, now he's sort of starting to become a bit more unhinged, far more unhinged.
More publicly unhinged.
Yeah, exactly. But it's also because he knows that, theoretically, no one can stop him.
Yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
Whereas Fisk, you smash someone's head in the middle of a benefit ball. Yeah, you go to prison again, mate, and that's it. Your empire's gone again,
two ways about
and you're probably not getting out this time. But I could definitely see him just being like, right, get them all back in a room again. I'm going to set fire to the building. I'll kill them all. Absolutely. Who the fuck do they think they are? And like, where they're all just sort of like, yeah, we could fund this project like it's nothing, but you're probably doing it for your own self-interest. Yeah. Meaning, like, I would do it if it was for my self-interest. But you're a no one. You're just another person in that seat now. We're the people who really run it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my god! If you even believe half the things that people think about this guy, why on earth would you say that to him?
Some of them did say that though. Like they were like obviously the criminal or the things that you've done and stuff. Shut the fuck up then. Like if you know all the things that he's done, shut up. Because it'll do
even
it to
if
you.
You think, he's acquitted or whatever. If you think there's even a chance that, like, no one's going up to OJ Simpson. It's like, hey OJ, do you want to go down this back alley together without any cameras or whatever? Because even if you go, well, he was acquitted, but maybe he did it. It would always be in the back of your mind. You go, I don't know, maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but I don't want to risk it.
That's what I always hated about the X-Men films, and not just the films, the cartoon and the comics and stuff, where you'd have people like in the first X-Men film where Wolverine's having a drink after the cage fight, and then the guy starts at him and then he gets his claws out, and then they're all like, fuck you, my mutant freak. You wouldn't say that. Somebody's got knives coming out of their hand into your face.
Yep.
You're going to be as nice as pie. And I've always thought that I as you fucking know, I love X-Men. X-Men's my favourite comic. But that, I know it was meant to be basically a race thing and to show how people treat people and everything else. But if people have got powers, you're not going to say anything to them. Behind the back, yeah. But,
yeah, maybe. Yeah, you'll sign your protest signature thingies, saying, make sure they're all sterilised or whatever. But yeah, when the threat of these people is that, they could end the world if they wanted to. They could stop time. They can cause the weather to change. They could change the atoms in your body. You don't go, yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, you freaks.
I'm sure it is just purely it's a movie thing, it's a TV thing, because they did the same thing with Superman. Like with Superman comes in as people throwing things at him, and it's just like, if you think this man is a dangerous maniac, Batman's the only one who went, fucking hell, this guy seems like he's probably lethal. Probably should make some weapons to take him out. Yeah, rather than just throw shit at him and just hope he doesn't just turn around and just obliterate you.
But that's the Homelander thing in a nutshell, though, where Brightburn's a better example of what happens if he did just go, fuck this, and then Kajunk or Injustice or whatever. But yeah, I've never liked that sort of thing, and you wouldn't do it in a more realistic setting with someone like Kingpin, where if you do have, like you say, that kind of, you don't know for definite, but you're fairly certain he's murdered a lot of fucking people for far less. You wouldn't just give him the fucking money. And,
but that's the thing though. Like, that's the mentality that I think they're trying to show, is that they know that he's probably dangerous. They know he's a criminal, but they're just sort of like, yeah, but I'm better than you.
Yeah.
I'm richer. I pull the strings, mate, and you're just the one at the end of them. That's it.
You're still the puppet.
That's all you are to me.
Yeah.
But they will turn to fucking water if he was to start turning up the pressure on him.
It's gonna happen. He's gonna do it. And the guy that comes in, who was in the last last week's episode when they had the meeting under the bridge, and there's for the like 1.8 million. Like how he was talking to Fisk as well, and he knows full well what Fisk's capable of.
But
He's
this is
die.
it. This is like a smelling blood in the water thing, isn't it? It's just like, right, he's weak. He's he's moved away from the crime stuff, so now he's not going to be capable of that sort of shit.
Yeah. Similar to
and
Matt.
then he's like, okay, well now it's 2.8 million. He's like, yeah, good fucking luck with that. But
do you think Vanessa's putting him up to that kind of stuff?
That's a good point. I mean, maybe she's trying to twist it, but the interactions that I'm seeing between him and Vanessa, they genuinely do seem to... Like, I think she wants him to kind of go back to it. I think she gets a kick out of that whole lifestyle. And plus, she was doing it much better than he was, like, from a business point of view. I think he misses the visceral nature of it. He wants power that he's earned rather than power that he's... now that he's mayor, he's like, okay, well, I want to change things. And everyone's like, well, no, not really. You can't just do that.
Yeah, you still got all this red tape and stuff.
Exactly, it's the red tape, and he's like, oh, fuck all that. Like, I can cut through the red tape. And they're like, yeah, but you can't, though. Like, there's too many moving parts. Whereas when you're in charge of, that criminal empire, you say, right, well, I want that gang taken out. They'll go, yes, sir, we'll get right on it.
Yeah.
And they'll go and set fire to them or whatever.
Ironically, got more power as the king than he does as the mayor.
I think that's what he's going to change, though. He's going to go, oh, this isn't what I wanted to. I wanted to make more. Again, in that same kind of way that Matt is maybe. He's like, oh, I could make more of a difference to the city by running a criminal empire than I can as the mayor.
Yeah.
And Matt's going to be like, I think I can actually do more good being Daredevil than I can being a lawyer.
Yeah.
Even though both of them, all they want to do is they want to indulge in that part of themselves. They want to be born again, and they want to come back and they want to be that person.
Hence the title.
That's my thinking.
Yeah.
And I think that what we're seeing is the start of that. He's put the suit back on. That was 5 episodes in, and he's just put the suit back on. Like, so it's like a year later, and Kingpin's been keeping his foot off the gas. Hence why people think they could just walk up to him in his own office without an appointment and just be like, "Who are you, old man? Fuck off." Like he's not going to be able to tolerate that, so he can't take it out on them. And he can't take it out on the rich idiots that he has to, suck up to for campaign money or whatever. But when he's got someone that no one knows about in a basement, he will beat the living fucking Christ out of him. Like, he needs that outlet, and I think Matt needs that outlet as well.
And
that's where I think we're getting to. That they're gonna finally realise that they can't deny it anymore, and that they need that part of themselves.
I mean, it's a very... When they're in the cafe and the diner, and he's just like, it's not entirely unpleasant seeing you again, and they're talking about, he's like, why did you stop being a vigilante? And I didn't think about it until when you were talking but I think, like, looking back now, Fisk could have been asking Matt that because he's trying to think, why am I leaving all this behind myself? And if Matt had got an answer that kind of lined up and made sense to Fisk, that might have been an easier transition, but neither of them want to leave that world behind. And the fact that, like, Foggy, I know it's really sad, Foggy died and is Matt's best friend, and they've known each other since they were like at college and university and whatnot, but he seems to have it's all about Foggy. Like, he's forgot all about Karen and the many people that have been killed in previous seasons and everything else, and that it seems like it's an excuse more than a reason to not do it.
But that's you say that's exactly what Frank said. It's like, you're just here for me to say, go get him. Put the suit back on. Yeah, that's where you need to be. You need to be on the streets. You need to be kicking the shit out of people. And he doesn't want to do that because he thinks that he's doing better. He's being better, but he doesn't, like, deep down, he doesn't want to just be a lawyer. He wants to, physically do something about it. He wants to stop people from, being hurt and, being criminals. And, he sees redemption in people, but that doesn't mean that he's going to not beat the shit out of them for being the wrong, being on the wrong side of the tracks. He'll stop them.
Yeah. That's all he needs to do. He doesn't ever need to go further than that. And obviously there are occasions where he does, and there's been occasions in this with Bullseye in particular. But that's not a. I never understood the logic between Spider-Man and Daredevil and Batman and the like, where it's can't kill people, but you basically have, like, Spider-Man. He can lift like 30,000 ton or something ridiculous like that.
No, he can't.
But I'm gonna
30,000 tons. That's like a battleship, mate.
It might not be 30,000.
It's like, I think it's like 10 tons or something.
How much can Spider-Man lift? 10. But oh no,
That's still impressive. That's like a lorry.
no. The most he's done is 75. 75 ton.
75 is still a lot. That's a real lot.
I mean, it's fucking loads, but not as much as I said.
No, like I say, that's like an island.
But if you just went down the middle, so what would you say, 75? So if you just say 30 ton is an average. Somebody punches you with that strength, it's going to kill you. And I know he holds back, but it's the same like in Winter Soldier when Captain America when he lands onto the boat and everyone's then kicks that guy, and he like goes into the railing and then falls off. He's died.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
Like,
And
that broke his spine or shattered his hips, and then you dropped him in the ocean.
yeah.
He dies. Yeah.
And that's the same. Batman's done the same kind of thing. Spider-Man's done the same kind of thing. Daredevil's done the same kind of thing. They've all killed people. So if it's a case of going like the age-old argument of, well, if you'd have killed the Joker, 200,000 people would still be alive because all those bombs didn't go off. Just I don't see the issue. And I know it's for that moral compass and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm no better than them, because as soon as I do one, then what's stopping me go, well, the Penguin's killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Maybe we should put him out as well. But that's why the Punisher makes more sense to me, because he's more unapologetic in what he does. He's like, he doesn't have the moral quandary of like, yeah, well, am I just as bad as them? Like, he's been trained to kill. He's a soldier. Yeah. And he knows that, okay, well, I can put one in the ground, but if that stops 5 more being killed, then the universe balances out. And if you wanted to look at it morally, even if that one criminal is going to kill 10 other criminals, well, that's still 10 lives saved by taking one. But again, it's still the point of he's a serial killer and he's a psychopath for the majority of the time, and that's his justification of being able to do that sort of stuff.
Dexter, though, isn't it? Like Dexter's
exactly.
reason is, well, they're bad people, so
yeah,
okay, don't worry about it.
I'm still getting but at least he goes, no, I have to kill people. I'm a killer. The best thing I can do is just target the right people.
Yeah. But
which again is kind
of
of Frank's.
Would do, though. Not the murder side of it, but the justice system's failed. They've got out. I'm gonna go fuck them up, and then maybe Frank comes along and finishes the job, kind of thing. But
tags him in for the last bit.
Yeah, and yeah, the problem with Frank's methods is, where does it end? And like you say, like the same thing with Batman, where it's like, kill the Joker, but Penguin's done a load of shit, so we best kill him. Riddler's done a load of shit, so we best kill him.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Bane, yeah.
And then at some point it will go, Captain America kicked that guy on that boat and it murdered him. Best kill Captain America.
But that's it. Then it doubles back and it goes, right, well, who's killed? And it goes, right, well, you've killed more than all of us. Like, you've killed like 600 people by your own code. You're next on the list, right?
It should be.
Like, because then if we kill you, it stops you from killing anybody else. But then that's the premise of Wanted.
Yeah, effectively. Because it'll just keep going, because then they'll go, Captain America's killed 6 people now. He's killed included the Punisher, so we best kill him. And then someone else is going to have a tally against their name. Then.
Yeah, and then you just get some AI. It's just like,
better.
Maybe it was. Maybe we should just give him a call again and just be like, can you just have another crack at it? Because now that we've experienced it, you're probably quite right, to be honest.
I'm still on the camp.
He was, I've done what I did. I blew them up. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. And now I think that the universe works.
I'm going to go live on a farm.
and then they killed him immediately for it.
But the whole premise bit of, and again, I know loads of people have gone into way deeper dives than this, but there's not enough resource and blah, 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 blah. Why don't you just use the Infinity Gauntlet to make more resource?
Or you don't need things to cost resources as much.
Yeah.
You know,
there was other ways of doing it.
You know, one grain of rice has the same amount of nutritional energy and protein as a bowl of rice.
Yeah. So you could literally done.
Yeah, all food's now in tablet form and it's delivered through a wormhole.
Yeah, whenever you want.
To every planet,
yeah.
Forever. Every
solved.
planet has now got a machine that will absorb sunlight and turn it into perfect power. There's no energy drop off. Power forever.
Yeah.
Off you go. But then everyone gets fat and complacent, and you know, then it's
Wall-E.
It's kind of Wall-E. But then other people are just like, okay, well, we don't have to worry about getting food anymore. So that other planet over there, they've been bothering us for a long old time. Should we go and blow them up?
That's the sort of stuff that would happen.
Exactly. Yeah, because then what do people have to fight against?
Exactly, and that's I know because actually in the comics it's all to impress Death rather than his. I don't know what do they call it? Because he's a Mad Titan in the comics, but they did call him something else in this. I can't remember.
I don't think so, because he called himself. He's like, you know, oh, they called me mad.
Yeah, but it was the like his outlook. That's what like the name of the reference that they used.
Oh, I don't know.
It'll come to me like in another fucking day or two.
Yeah.
That was it. It's not really important. But yeah, that was just one of those questionable things. However, we're not going to go into it, but yesterday I told you there was a lot of Avengers Doomsday stuff being released by the Russo brothers and Marvel and Disney and the Disney Plus
Everybody.
Instagram account, every fucking person on the planet.
Yeah.
Have you managed to avoid it?
No.
Oh, Daniel. I tried my best.
haven't. You did, but it doesn't help when you open it up and it's just the first thing that's on there. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, well, now I know. So, like, your classics, I expected to see them, your Hemsworths and your whatevers. But then I did see someone. Who did I see on today? And I was like, what the fuck are they doing there? And because of my incredible shit memory, I've kind of already forgotten who it actually was.
That's good, though.
Kind of is, and I don't want to force myself to remember it too
much.
No.
And I'm not going to say anything, but it's good that you forgot. There was a good number of people on there, but there was also a good number of people missing.
Yeah, I there was someone who took me off guard. I forgot who it was.
Do you want me to say, or
no?
Then we won't.
Because what if you tell me another one that I hadn't seen?
Good point. I saw them all because I'd already saw like 4 or 5, and I was like, well, I may as well just keep going back on. And I was really tempted because on I've got my own Instagram, but we both use the PvP Instagram, and I was going to go on it and unfollow everything that might say it.
Did the same thing with Deadpool and Wolverine. So I went on like a bunch of things that were just talking about Marvel or DC, because you know it's not generally about specific
it's just
companies
in
or whatever.
general.
Yeah, and I just uninterested a bunch of it, and I just don't see any of that showing up now. But I think like unfollowing the Marvel account's probably a good idea. But the thing is that this is only we're going into production announcement.
Which means no story stuff or anything.
It's going to be like another 3 years before this shows up.
When is it actually scheduled? Because I know we've got a release year.
It can't be 26. They can't have started recording. Well, I don't know. We're in March now. They started today.
Next year, 1st of May.
If they did like 9 months of shooting, and then they've got 4 months of editing to get it ready.
It's it begins shooting in March, but I mean it's the 27th of March now, so unless that's going to be like the next couple of days.
I think that was the announcement though. It was saying that it was starting today. Well, not today, but whenever yeah, whenever it popped up, then yeah. I've genuinely forgotten who it was. I think it's someone that's already been in there, but I can't. Yeah, it's sort of like on the tip of my brain, but I'm not really willing to dig any further for it. So
we'll talk about it if it gets spoiled again.
Maybe,
if it doesn't, we won't.
When we start to see teasers or whatever, I imagine that the only sort of stuff we're going to see is like sort of fan concepts of like Robert Downey Jr. as
it's going to be everywhere. Like
probably, yeah.
I've already
because
seen
this is the one
people
thing
have made up
that people are going to get real. Ooh, you know, this is going to get real interesting.
I saw a thing the other day saying,
it's Channing Tatum. Damn it!
Yeah, there you go. Well, there's way better ones.
Okay, well, that's the only one I saw, and I was like, I wish I hadn't seen that, because I thought it was just such a funny little thing, but it should have been a funny little thing. He does not need to come back and do it now. He got his bit, and that's it.
I'm really glad it was Channing Tatum, because the one I was going to say is not Channing Tatum. And that
oh my God, then yes, that would have exactly ruined it. Okay, good.
I know you really care too much about Channing, so but what I was going to say, it's completely gone now. Nah, it's gone.
Good. Just passing my shit.
Completely gone. But this could... Kevin Feige is reportedly very concerned with the Russo brothers directing Avengers Doomsday, and I think Secret Wars as well. Because every movie they've made after Endgame has been fucking garbage. And then...
Well, what have they made since then?
Off the top, I'm paraphrasing, but the one that's kind of like knocked over the edge is it Electric State with Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt?
Wasn't that Netflix one that was? But wasn't that a budget thing? What didn't that cost? Like
cost a lot of money,
100 million or something like that, and everyone's just like, for what?
Yeah, I haven't watched it, so I can't comment, but I know it's got bad
Me either.
reviews.
Yeah, but again, I'm aware of it, but I'm just sort of like.
But apparently he's going to be very hands-on with this to ensure the quality remains at that standard. Well, which it has to be, though. This is the new Avengers movie.
Yeah,
that's got Robert Downey
I just get the feeling that he's just going to walk onto set every morning and just say, "Do you remember Infinity War? Do you remember Endgame? Do that again, right? Don't do anything. Do that again. Do what you did there. Do that again."
Soldier, Endgame, all the good ones you've done. Just think of the good times. Think of the good memories.
Yeah, because if you do another Brave New World, you're fired and you're never coming back.
Who directed Brave New World?
No idea.
It wasn't the Russo brothers, but
nope.
Yeah, from what I saw, they've done a lot of misses since then.
Well, I think it's like the bigger they get, the bigger the budget they get, the more. I don't know. I wouldn't say complacent, but I also imagine that they get bothered a lot, and like people go, no, you need to do it like this. Oh no, we need to change this to be more, appealing to the Chinese market or whatever. Like they'll have fingers in their pie, which is sometimes a good thing. It's sometimes a bad thing, but potentially that's it. Or they just, people are just giving them shit, and they think that they can spin it into gold. And maybe they just haven't been able to pull it off, or people are holding it up to an achievement like that.
I mean,
because Endgame and Infinity War should not have worked.
They should
have been.
They did.
It should have been a big old swing and a miss. That's what it should have been, or it should have been like, oh god, well that wasn't really worth all the wait, was it? But they fucking nailed it.
But they should have retired.
I wouldn't want to come back after that and go, how the fuck do you want me to top that?
But you can't. But that's the thing. How do you do that? It's like I like bands and artists and stuff. Like you have like an album that like everyone loves. It's universally praised by critics, by public, by people that wasn't fans but now they are. Like, how would you follow an album up like that? That's got to be really hard. And an album costs like tens of thousands of pounds to produce. When a movie costs billions and billions and billions, that's a lot of fucking money.
A franchise does.
Well, yeah,
it
doesn't cost that much. Sorry, but if you look at some of the misses, like Mrs. Sunday Movies will do like the box office hits of the year, box office misses of the year. some of them lose a lot of money. Not
Yeah.
necessarily bad films either. They just didn't perform. And similar to the Max Payne anecdote earlier, something can be genuinely really good. It just doesn't make any money. Like
you got to take into account what else comes out as well.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see Doomsday having a problem, but like you say, if I don't know,
Titanic
James Gunn's,
2.
it could be something really stupid like Titanic or Avatar or something genuinely big that could take a little bit of that away, like Sonic 4. Maybe not, but
Maybe not.
this will make loads of money. It doesn't matter how good it is.
It will do. I'll be going to see it.
Oh yeah, 100%. It just might affect. If it's bad, it might affect the next one,
The future.
in terms of box office.
I said this when we were talking about Brave New World, but it just feels like what we're getting at the moment is just filler. It's just like, we still need to be relevant. We still need to be in the mind's eye of people, but we're not really putting a huge amount of effort in, because that's how it feels. I'm sure that they are. People are working their absolute bloody balls off to get this sort of stuff working, but it's just not having the same kind of impact.
Do you think this would have
could
worked
just
better?
be?
Sorry,
Go on.
No, I was just going to say, do you think Brave New World would have worked better as season 2 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Absolutely, and I would have probably praised it for being pretty good. Like, fucking hell, for a TV show, it's the same like Loki. Like Loki, if you put that together and released it as a movie, I'd be like, oof, bloody hell. It's a bit long and drawn out, and what the fuck's going on? But giving it room to breathe and giving great characters and giving them a chance to explain what the hell's going on all the time. It works really well, and it maybe this is something that would have been like, this was the proposed script for the second season of Falcon and Winter Soldier, but instead of going Falcon and Winter Soldier, because we can't afford Sebastian Stan anymore, it's going to be Falcon and Falcon, or Captain America and Falcon, or something like that. You can still focus on them two, cool adventures, training on how to use the wings, get Isaiah back, and then maybe you wouldn't get Harrison Ford in it necessarily, but you'd get your big.
Why not? He's doing that TV show on Apple.
Isn't that the one that's on?
I can't remember his name. Jason Segel. Looks really funny, to be fair, but that's a TV show.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's Disney money, so they can pay him $100 billion if they want to. And then, because the Red Hulk stuff looked great, but it's just, you take the sort of like the muscle and the effect of the Green Hulk, you turn it red, bang, you're done.
Might even look better. To be fair, it wasn't a bad model for Red Hulk. I think it was a bad environment.
Yeah, it just, none of it really seemed to work particularly well. But yeah, I reckon if they'd have done that as a second season, or maybe some of the ideas that came from that would have been a second season. It just feels like they're scrabbling to try and find something good to grab onto. Like they're drowning a little bit, and they're finding that one solid route that they can grab onto, which could be Fantastic Four. It could be new X-Men-y stuff, or it could be Doomsday. But then that's, like you say, that's another year or so to wait. And you've got another couple of properties in there that might ruin the sort of what people expect. They're going to be changing shit on the fly to try and make up for some of the damage that's done from previous ones. You don't really know.
And that's what you don't want, especially if it's not necessarily a new IP, but if everything's gone tits up and then here's the new X-Men, it's like, that's a lot of fucking pressure for a new cast of people.
Yeah.
Hopefully that isn't the case. But we'll leave it there, mate, because we've gone on long enough. And I thank you for joining us. You guys can go over to podcastfishplay.com. It's all going along the bottom of the screen, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.